Hey, how you guys doing today? Welcome to Uncensored. This is D. We're gonna, I want to say, hope everyone's enjoying this Saturday. Um, Still cold out. Hope you guys are staying warm and having a good weekend. We're gonna get the show started today. A couple things that has been in the news this week that I want to discuss. Um, One particular thing is we're gonna talk about the incident that happened with a mother and her three children, three boys, three little boys. The three little boys ended up drowning in a pond that was covered with ice because of all the freezing that had been going on and the bad weather. Um, Apparently, what happened in this story was the three boys, the younger boy, the youngest one, which of course I think the correct age was 6, 9, and I want to say 8. The younger boy went out to the pond, was playing on the ice, and fell into the pond. And the two other boys went in to try to save him. The young sister was the one that discovered that and went and told the mom. The mom went into the pond, tried to save the three boys. Allegedly, her story is she um, froze up when she got into the pond because how cold it was, and she couldn't save all three. And she finally pulled out by a neighbor. The mom did the uh, interview of her discussing what happened. Now, here's the what I want to discuss about this story. I saw in the video a lot of people made the comments that the mom did not seem like she was upset about the situation. And I'm gonna say this. I looking at that video, it was a little suspect in that video. Um, she they say people grieve differently, for what, and that is very true. People do grieve differently when it comes to the situation. And that right there is a sad situation. And I don't know because I was not there, obviously, so I don't know what happened. I can agree with a lot of people saying that her interview does not look like a person that's grieving the loss of three young children. There were holes in her story. If you guys go back and look at the video and compare to what was said in the first time that she was interviewed, um, all I can say is you, as a parent, you have to watch the kids, no matter what's going on, especially young children. You have to watch them. You cannot leave them unattended outside. And yeah, because if you don't watch them, this is exactly what happens. They first of all, they had no business being outside when it being cold out like that. I don't understand that. And so, if you apparently they had just moved to a friend's house that had a pond in the backyard. If you knew there was a pond as a parent, you knew there was a pond in the backyard, and you know it was covered with ice. You shouldn't have had. They shouldn't have been out there. You know. Um, this is a situation where I've always said, and me being a parent, I would rather be that overbearing parent than be a parent that's on TV looking crazy because of something that happened that could have been prevented. Um, it's a sad story. Them three little boys, very young, didn't get a chance to live out their whole life, gone in a split second because of an incident that could have been avoided by watching the children. A lot of people, some of these parents, they have these kids go outside to get so they can get their break from them, and they don't pay attention to these kids. Um, they just let them go and do whatever, and then when stuff crazy stuff like this happens, this is the outcome. You know, um, it's a sad story with that, very sad. And I want to say to the family, my prayers go out to the families, my condolences to the family for them three little boys. Um, I don't know what to say about the mother with the interview. It does not look like, but like everybody's people agree different. She could be in still in shock with all of this, or it could be something else. Nobody knows that this. Nobody knows when nobody was there. Nobody can correctly say, well, there's more to the story because I know there's more to the story, but nobody can say that. So it does look kind of off. But to the fact that I said some things can be prevented. Um, this is one of those situations that could have been if you paid attention to your children, especially the young ones, because they are ambitious. They want to test things and do things they know they should not do because that's part of being a young child. That's why parents you have to lost. So it only takes a split second. You can't get those seconds back. So yeah, that was one of the incidents on the news, and I wanted to discuss real quick with you guys. Um, Another one coming into the news that I was looking at is a there was a pregnant woman that was stabbed over, they say over 70 times in the news. It was a guy that did it. He bought a vehicle off the husband off of Facebook Market. The story goes that the lady, the people that sold the truck to him had left their license plates on the truck. So the guy, they informed the guy that he needed to return the license plates to them. The guy brought the license plate back to them, and somehow, in some way, when he entered the apartment, an altercation happened where the woman was stabbed multiple times. Now, the guy said he was frustrated because the truck that they sold him did not work. There was engine problems. But the young lady died along with her unborn child, and the guy ended up putting the house on fire and stabbing their dog. Now, I've said this a lot too. When you're meeting people off of these Facebook Market or anything, you have to be careful because you don't know what you're dealing with. To me, meeting people off of these market, Facebook Market, anything like this, it's playing a dangerous game because you don't know what's on the other side of that the other side of the phone or the other side of the internet. You don't know who that person is. Um, that is a sad story because she was pregnant and two lives was taken for nonsense because of he felt that the truck they sold him did not work. There's a lot of crazy stuff, shit that's going on in the world, guys. You got to be smarter what we do now because we're walking amongst, and I'm gonna say this in a religion way, we're walking among demons. That seems like I'm so sick of hearing the mental people using the mental card or mental illness as a getaway card. No, facts is facts. We're walking amongst demons in this world. It's only gonna get worse. That's why I say you have to be aware of your surroundings and think smarter. Because to me, it's at this point, it's kill or be killed in this world. That's what it seems like. That you taking every chance that you get. Whether you walk out the door or when you open the door for a stranger that you don't know, you're taking every chance. Um, so that situation was very sad. Um, like I said, when it comes to stuff like that, you're taking a big risk meeting people offline for anything because you don't know what you're. Um, so hopefully that person that did this gets what's coming to them. And yeah, I've always said the reason why, and I'm gonna keep saying the reason why crimes are up so high. You see it happening almost every day is because people are not afraid anymore. They're not afraid to get their hair dirty. They're not afraid to go to prison. They're not afraid. Or it's just when when you lose fear and things, you get. chaotic stuff like this happen. Uh, I just look at it like this, and I know this is going to be going off a subject. It's going to be sounding like I'm rattling on, but a lot of things have changed over the years. You know, I was looking at a podcast last night when this guy said, um, 2020 things have been different. People have been acting different, people been more cruel, more, it's just like we were given that I don't give a fuck attitude now. Yes, things have changed. People are more wicked than normal. And that's why I tell people, please, be safe. Don't go outside blind and thinking nothing can happen to me. Oh, that's just over there. No, no. People nowadays are snapping, doing crazy shit, and you don't know. You just don't know when you walk out that door if you're gonna be able to make it back home because crazy shit that happens. That's what's happening now. Um, like I said before, I've always said this station is for controversy. It's for speaking your opinion. So I'm going to put my opinion out there, and it's going to sound crazy. But I also said ever since this 2020 COVID shot, this COVID shot, people need to, people have acted different. I've always said that. I said ever since this has happened, when people started getting that vaccine for the COVID virus, people have started acting different. There's more aggressiveness in people. And people can say, oh, well, crime has been happening over the years forever. Like, yeah, that's true, but you don't really hear hiking it up as it is now. So it is very crazy how things have been happening. Um, People are going crazy over a lot of things that's just crazy. The world. Um, I've always said, like I said, be careful of your surroundings. Know where you're at. If you have a weapon, carry what you want on you when you step out these doors. Um, yeah. Another news that was in the news. This is kind of crazy and minor. There was a situation when Nicki Minaj, a rapper, um, was on stage indoors and basically saying that she had got her gold card from Donald Trump, making her okay to live in the States without being targeted. See a lot of people talking about that, saying, "Well, she sold out, and her career is done." Before, people have the right to like who they like. Do I agree with it? No, it's kind of crazy that she could do something like that. But people have the right to like who they like, and also have the right to bear the consequence that comes with that. Um, so do I think she was a smart idea to get on stage and do that? No, I probably don't. Not with everything that's going on. No, I don't think it was a good idea. So, but like I said, people have that. Another topic that I want to discuss too. It's also we're gonna go back to the ice thing too, but that's still been in the news. Apparently, there's a new video of the young man that was killed 2 weeks ago by ICE agents. Another video showing 11 days before all of that happened of him attacking ICE agents, spitting on that car, breaking their tail light, kicking it. A lot of people there in the video, it's fake that it's AI, because the guy had on the same clothes. And, you know, with today's technology, doesn't surprise me. With AI, doesn't surprise me if this is something they're going to cover their asses. Wouldn't surprise me. Or It could be just real. It could be real. Point blank is, it doesn't matter if it was real, AI, whatever, a person lost their life. Doesn't matter what he was doing 11 days ago. It's what he was doing up to that day that he got killed. And when he, on the video, when he was killed, he was not attacking ICE agents. He was surrendering. So whatever he did 11 days ago, that was 11 days ago. I did not justify for what him being murdered in the streets the way they did him. So yeah, they can come up with all the videos in the world trying to justify it. Doesn't matter that what's out there is out there, and that was plain as sight. He was murdered. Simple as that. Like I said, whether this video is fake, real or not, it doesn't matter. Person was murdered. They need to be held accountable for what happened. You know, that's simple. So that's just my opinion on that. Like, I had a lot of people over the last few days say, well, play stupid game, win stupid prizes. He shouldn't have been agitating ICE agents. He should have just let them do their job. And the video of him being killed shows him helping out a lady that was pushed by ICE agents to the ground. That's what's in the video. He was not attacking them. He was helping out a lady that was pushed. A shoving match became between him and ICE when he was helping them, and he was shoved to the ground, kicked and stomped. You clearly see the ICE agent taking him away from him. He did not have any weapons on him when they shot and killed him. Multiple gunshot wounds. That was done there. And he was unarmed. Shot and killed an unarmed guy that was on the ground with multiple shots. That's murder. Point blank murder, murder, murder. Somebody, a regular citizen, went and done something like that. There would be no, oh, justified anything. It would be straight murder. Only different. The people that's doing it are ICE agents, and they're protected by our great leader up there. Well, some of y'all are up there. I'm not going to say right. Great. Some of y'all are great leaders. But yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. Straight murder, no matter how you look at it. Like I said, it's a lot of one thing I say about life is a lesson. I think a lot of things happen to teach everybody a lesson to show us the path to go down and what not to go down. You know, I've said this in another video, and I want to. I know I feel like I'm repeating myself. If you are out there protesting and you are doing it the right way, do not interact with these ICE agents. Don't put yourself in danger of being gunned down, killed, and then your name being ran through the mud because they're trying to cover up what they know is wrong. Don't put yourself in that situation. If you're going to protest, protest the right way. If you see things going sideways with an ICE agent and somebody, a citizen, and yeah, if you see things going the wrong way with an ICE agent, with somebody, and you help them. I'm gonna say this. I would not get involved because you guys seem twice how this has played out. And it's not only twice, there's multiple shootings that has happened with ICE agents that have not been recorded. I just would not get involved. Don't put yourself in that situation. So this is about say protesting in large group amount of people is a dangerous game to play right now. So guys, think about stuff like that. Me personally, I don't believe in protesting. I think, like I said before I spoke about this, when you're protesting, what are you changing for real? If you're protesting, the same thing you're protesting against is still going to be in play the next day and the next day after that. And it really doesn't, not going to make a difference. But now it just seems like protesting out there is a very dangerous thing to do because you have some of these people that are in the protest that are paid to stir up trouble and they get paid to do this. So that's why I say if you're going to do it the right way, do it for the right reason. Don't go out there doing it for the wrong reason and stir up shit and make more attention than what it is out here because there's a lot of tension going on. And I just tell people just be safe and do things the right way. Okay. If you see something going down, you have every right to record it. That's one thing they can you cannot record. You have every right to record it. But to get it yourself involved in it, I would not do that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you sound selfish." Well, no, it's called being smart. You've seen what has happened in the last few weeks. Like I said, they're gunning people down, and to cover their ass, they're throwing salt on people's name by targeting them as terrorists now, and all of this bullshit that they're trying to use to cover their asses. Just be smart about it. So yeah, another thing I have to say before I get off of here is just some of these podcasters that I hear on here. It makes me wonder, are you guys on here just to troll people? Because some of the stuff that some of these podcasters say, I don't even think they believe what they're saying and agreeing with the stuff that's going on with ICE, saying that they agree that they approve of what they're doing. I'm not even gonna go. I don't even go back and forth with it. I just think some of these people that get these podcast channels, they do a lot of trolling and they do a lot of talking to get their little viewers off. They don't even believe what they're really saying, which makes me think to my head like, yeah, people need to just be careful what you say because you don't know who's listening on the other end, and you're provoking them to go out there and act a fool when you're playing into this shit. You know, you have some podcasters that are saying, well, we have a gun and you need to just go out there and just gun them all down, all the ice cream down. No, you don't do that. You know, why would you tell somebody to do something crazy like that? That's when there's a problem. Because like I said, you don't know who's listening. Somebody is listening and you don't know where their mental state is at on the other end. They're hearing this stuff, hyping themselves up to go out there to do something crazy just to end badly for them. And then you have a whole nother situation. So like I'm saying, if you do have the opportunity to voice your opinion and it can reach a large amount of people, be smart. Don't send people down the wrong path just to gain your views or whatever the case, the hidden agenda that you're doing it for. That's what I'm going to speak on that one. It's just sad. Sad that people do that and sad that people are like that. But yeah, that was my podcast for today. Um, just letting you guys know some of the stuff that I've seen on the news that I want to go over with you guys. Hoping the sound quality is better. I'm hoping. Um, so yeah, I'm probably wrap this up. Hoping you guys have a good weekend. I will be back live next Saturday. For which we go over what happens in the news. And remember, every day above ground is a good thing. Treat each other right. Be smart. Protect yourself. And God bless. Thank you.